Hey folks, thanks for joining for another Civilization 6 video, and in this video we're going to be going over what should likely be an effective strategy for the upcoming Vietnam civilization based upon what we know about their abilities. So if you haven't seen what their abilities are, or if you want a quick refresher on the relevant abilities for this strategy, here are some clips from the developer first look.
Specialty districts can only be built on rainforest, marsh, or woods tile. Batu's unique ability, Drive Out the Aggressors, provides additional combat strength for units fighting in rainforest, marsh, or woods tiles. This bonus is further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam. Beginning a turn in rainforest, marsh, or woods also provides additional movement, which is also further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam.
So we'll be playing on a Terra map on deity with 11 city-states and 5 AI. We've left the other settings standard. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll be trying to cut to the footage that is most relevant to the strategy that we're going to be using, which is going to be a strategy of trying to bait the AI into declaring a surprise war, and then using our defensive bonuses to hold off their initial push, wear down their initial military strength, and then counter pushing. The reason that this will be a particularly strong strategy for the Vietnam civilization when it's released is because they get a lot of defensive bonuses for certain terrain types.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
The first thing that we're going to be building is a slinger, and that is just so that we can establish some early military presence on the board. This will also help clear out any nearby barbarian activity, and of course explore any nearby map areas as well. So in this play, we've gotten the first meet on Muscat there, so that will give us the opportunity to appoint a governor, and we were going to want to do that to appoint Amani to Muscat, because that will give us an early hero discovery, and that will give us the option to have an offensive presence in the form of a hero for the early game. So we got a boost towards craftsmanship, which is sort of a throwaway boost because that's a boost that we could have gotten pretty easily anyway. So that village was nothing particularly great there. But we'll continue to build our slinger here and explore the map, and then we will come back here shortly when we have some more to discuss regarding strategy. So on turn 5 here, we had a scout come up from the northeast, or I guess come down from the northeast in this unexplored area. So that is indicative that there's likely some barbarian activity there. So that is the first bit of information that we're going to sort of want to synthesize in trying to determine what we need to do. We've got another tribal village discovery down here, so hopefully that gives us something a little better than our last tribal village discovery, and we've gotten our village growth there, so now we are working 2 tiles, and we've got two pretty strong production tiles there, and we're working on our slinger, which will be done next turn. We finished our suzerainty status on Muscat, which gave us a discovery of Beowulf, which is great because now we have a strong hero for an offensive presence on the board. So let's go ahead and see what we get in this tribal village here. That gives us a Void Singer discovery as well as a recon unit. So we saw that there was a barbarian scout coming from this direction. So let's go ahead and bring our recon unit up here and see what's going on. And we've met Korea here, which is going to give us the boost to writing. And now we can sort of try and flesh out our strategy and seeing if we can get Korea to attack us. So let's go ahead and bring our slinger unit out here, and then we're going to need to think of something that we want to build in our second city here. So another military unit would be good, but part of the strategy in terms of setting up to try and get the AI to attack you is to build a settler out and try to forward settle them a little bit, but you'll need to settle your second city in a good defensive position so that you can defend them and they can sort of wear down on attacking your city. So I will cut out here and we will pick up again shortly. So here we are on turn 10, and what we're likely going to do here is we're going to turn our warrior probably back around to this direction because we don't want to wander them too far off. So we're going to lose a little bit of our exploration capability with our warrior there. So We're going to go ahead and take our scout and move them up one square here so that we can get a little bit more visibility. Now, here we were talking about playing smart with your military early on, and you can see here I have the river defensive bonus here, but this tile has a -2 defense modifier. So it's it's sort of a wash there in terms. I think that you come out a little bit ahead if they attack you, but I'm not on like an optimal defensive tile, and if I stay here, they will attack me rather than attacking Korea, and there's really no point in absorbing that damage because I can't get the kill shot there to get my boost for archery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here one square and see if they will instead come over and attack Korea. I position my scout over here actually to sort of block Korea and force them to fight the barbarians for me and take some damage. So, okay, so that didn't work out exactly the way that we're intending it to work out, but we went ahead and finished animal husbandry, and we're hoping to get an early archery boost here, which is why we built the slinger. So you can see that they have unfavorable terrain here now. They have a -2 defense modifier, where I have a positive 3 defense modifier from the tile that I'm standing on. So I will go ahead and keep this position. I don't have the plus to barbarians card yet researched. So, but I think with the position that I'm in here, I can go ahead and actually, I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's worthwhile. I'm going to go ahead and retreat one more square to the 6 defense modifier square. And then with my scout unit, I will just retreat back one square there. And we will continue pushing back up with our warrior here. All right. So now if I move this way, it will sort of force the Korea here to do some of the work for me. So I'm gonna let them go ahead and do some of the lifting for me. And then I'm gonna keep an eye on what's going on over here with my scout. Let's see how this plays out. So Korea just kept wandering around. They didn't actually attack. So there's quite a bit of barbarian activity up here. So let's go ahead and retreat this scout unit here. And we don't want to leave our guy on the same side of the river here when we have a river possibility here. So let's go ahead and post up defensively on this 3 defense modifier file that also will give us the river defense bonus. And we'll bring our warrior up this way. Let's see how this plays out here. Alright, so he's going to come up towards the weaker unit, which is, that's a little bit expected. So let's come up all the way up here, and then we can get a view of what Korea is doing. And then I can probably, let's see, let's go ahead and block him from coming over towards my civ. And so this is 2 movement costs, so I can't move there and then also attack. So but he can move here and attack across the river for me. So I think what we'll do is we'll post up over here, and they'll probably come across the river here, but they won't be able to attack me. Alright, so now we can slot in our plus versus barbarians card, which we're going to go ahead and do. And then we'll slot in God King so that we can get an early Pantheon. Well, not early. We haven't attained any faith yet, but let's see. So as much as I wish there was a way I could get this last in with this scout, but unfortunately there isn't, so we'll just retreat further here. And then we'll go ahead and use this hill as a 3 defense modifier tile there. And then let's go ahead so that he can't just stand on this tile inside of our borders here. And then we'll see what happens. So he'll stand on this tile, but that's a worse tile for him because it's not as defensible. This has 0 terrain modifier. Where this one would have given his warrior a 3 defense modifier. So we'll stay here for now. And we'll bring our slinger down. And then we'll just sort of counter stand around in their area. Which they usually don't like. Like, if I hadn't done that, they might have just kept standing in my area. Like, they get nervous if you do the same thing back to them. So I can go ahead and keep exploring their area. And then here, I'll keep my slinger over here. And then I don't know if he's actually coming back. He would have just walked across here if he was trying to position there. So let me just walk my warrior over here. We've got 2 turns left until we get our settler. And let's go ahead and let's see how defend. Is this a 6? No, it's a 3 modifier. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back into the city here. If this was a 6 modifier tile, I probably would have moved my warrior onto that tile and defended that position because that would have been able to defend 2 hits pretty easily. But with only 3 modifier, I'm going to retreat back into the city, and then if the barbarian wants to attack, they'll sort of have to attack through the city. So that's why we're doing that there. So here comes them to stand around my area some more. And now we've got our warrior. So let's go ahead and link these up here, and we'll move out this way. We will keep our slinger there, and we'll sort of follow their troops down to see what's going on over here. Now, we did want to build Beowulf, so we're going to want to get our monument done at some point here. But since I think what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the next era so that Beowulf will be a little bit stronger. So that means we have time to build another unit, which will probably go ahead and be a slinger here. And hopefully we can still get that boost. So let's go ahead and switch off of archery here and on to mining. And then we'll go ahead and build another slinger here. All right, you can see that he just sort of ran up and hit the city there. And so that should, hopefully we get this. All right, nice. Now we'll finish off archery. And then we will move up here because we're going to try and forward settle Korea. And let's see, what do we want to do? So we want him to keep fighting the barbarians, so let's go ahead and not give him a good target to an alternative target, because if they can damage the AI players, we want them to do that, not damage our guys. So we finish archery now, and we can go ahead and go back to mining. And let's see. So let's go ahead and we're looking for a good spot to forward settle here. So let's go ahead and take this spot here. So this is a whoa. So this is actually a pretty decent defendable position, and the reason is because the surrounding tiles, not only on these side, they have to attack across a river, and the other surrounding tiles have negative defense modifiers outside of this one. These all have negative 2 defense modifiers. So basically, if I have an archer sitting in here, like they're going to, in order to attack the city, they're going to have to attack from tiles that give them a -2 defense. So that's a actually makes this a pretty defendable position. So this is a great city, a great spot here to forward settle in terms of getting them to attack me. So I'll probably go ahead and ping this guy with my warrior because I'm at full health anyway, and that'll make him do a little bit less damage to my city if he is opting to hit my city. And I'll go ahead and upgrade this guy to an archer, and we'll go ahead and get some more visibility on what's going on over here. So this is nice because these barbarian slingers are sort of wearing down Korea for me. And I think what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on what's going on up here. The question is I can get this kill here and get some experience, and then also get some towards my bronze working, which I think I'll go ahead and do. Let me go ahead and do that. And we'll leave our archer there. So unfortunately that did prompt him to attack me instead, but oh well. All right, so we'll see what's going on back here. And all right, so we finished craftsmanship. So let's go ahead and start working on foreign trade. We'll continue to rest this guy here. And let's see what's going on back here. All right. So, make sure we still have controlled Muscat, which we do. And let's see. All right, 2 turns till we finish our archer. Okay, so there's the surprise war by Korea, um, which is a really odd surprise war because they're in pretty much a terrible. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing here. This is highly irregular planning by them. Um, so do they have Nan Madol? No, they don't. So that's very interesting. So I'm gonna move here and see if I can and get a pillage by the scout there, and I guess I want to clear this barbarian camp out, but we're just gonna stay in here for now. It's not like a huge priority. Well, if I knew what was going on up here, I would, but I don't know. So let's just wait. All right, so we finished our other archer here, and we'll come up here, and then advance, and then now we'll go ahead and start building this monument so that we can get Beowulf out here, and then we'll just kill this dude. We have a promotion available now, and I think we'll probably be able to kill barbarians to get bronze working here. Now, I'm wondering here, actually, we could take pottery here and then build a builder here, in which case we could chop this and then use that to get our monument out. And I think that might be a little bit faster. So I can absorb 1 hit here and pillage their campus here. That will give us pottery, and then we can go ahead and work on bronze working now. And let's see, do we? Let me go ahead and we can see what's going on if we buy this tile here, maybe. Nope, we can't. Didn't give us any more visibility other than this scout here. But I wanted this tile anyways so that we get the boost to irrigation when we get our builder out. Although we would need to clear out this barbarian camp then so that we don't get pillaged. So let's see how we are doing here. All right, so we're in a pretty good position here. And okay, so there's no pillages left there. So we can go ahead and retreat because there's nothing of value to pillage there. Let's see what's happening here. All right, good job, barbarians. Good thing I didn't clear out that camp. All right, and let's go ahead and move up there. Move up there. We're going to leave our warrior here. We don't want to give the barbarians any other targets other than Korea. We want them to continue targeting Korea, so. Alright, good job, Muscat. We'll come up here. And now we'll come up here, I think. That gave us bronze working, so. Alright, 3 turns till we get our warrior here and get a little bit more visibility here. Alright, so I think that we are ready. So I would love to kill this scout, but I'm going to go ahead and get that. And that will give us Sanguine Pact, which is nice. As soon as we get our next title, we will probably take a vampire. And let's go ahead and start putting supports into military tradition so that we can get the flanking support combat bonus for all combat units. And let's see. We'll come down here and kill this scout. Oh, it looks like they must have gotten Scissor 2 over Nan Madal. They did. Okay, so that changes things a little bit here. Oh, you were supposed to kill that Korean scout for me. Dang it. Alright, so go ahead and ping that guy. Come up here. And we'll make a retreat in this direction. And then we've got one more turn until we get our builder there. Then we'll work on the monument, and then we'll work on Beowulf. So we've finished the early Empire boost, but we haven't discovered a second continent, so that's a little bit irritating. So, but let's go ahead and we'll come up here and, well, actually, we don't need to chop that anyway right away. So let's go ahead and take this monument. Here, I'll go ahead and build a camp here. We'll kill this scout. We'll kill this slinger. And then we will attack the Nan Madal warrior there. Gets ourselves a promotion. Oops, I forgot to actually move this guy. But now he can actually kill this warrior. So go ahead and do that. So this guy needs to rest. We'll rest him right there so that he can post up. And we'll move our troops up here. And we'll go ahead and build this camp there. And then let's see what we've got here. All right, so out of these two cities, the preferable... Oops, I think my game just crashed. Reloaded at the last save here. Looks like we have to build this camp again and go ahead and move up here. So I think we were discussing is which of these two cities was preferable to take, and the capital is obviously preferable to take because it would be much harder to hold Jeonju here because I don't have any real pressure, so to speak, for loyalty, and the capital emanates double loyalty pressure. So that is why you want to take the more populous city if you can when you are looking to capture a city, because it's preferable to capture. All right, so here we are, and we are on turn 37, and one of the things that I want to highlight with this is you're going to want to look for opportunities to raise, or I mean, not to raise, to pillage or plunder. So let me go ahead and plunder this trade route. So there's 60 gold there, and let's see. Now I could attack from here, but if I move up on this square, that will give me the opportunity to heal should I need to. So I'll save the promotion actually for now as an additional heal, even though now I'm not getting experience there. I re-recorded this audio so that we could focus in on what happened here. So I took the Korean capital, but then subsequently lost it due to not being able to keep the loyalty up high enough. So one thing to keep in mind is that even if you do take the capital, when the capital switches, that other new capital is going to emanate the double loyalty bonus. So it is very important to try and surround your target city with as much loyalty pressure as possible. Now, we were able to retake this city, so the strategy that we're deploying here is still a very effective way to expand your territory. You just have to be cognizant of the amount of loyalty pressure you can exert on your target takeover cities. So, cutting to the strategy that we deployed to recapture this area, what we did is we fell back and took the weaker city on the surrounding fringe and then used that as a base of operations to then retake the capital that had fallen into free city status. Right, so now we should be able to assign our governor here, and since we have that other city that would have been generating pressure, hopefully we have enough here to hold this. No, that's still going to be at a -4. So let's see what we can do to fix that. First, we're going to repair the monument. Now, you can see here the former Korean capital actually fell back into free city status again, and that just gives you a good idea of how much pressure a nearby capital is really going to exert, even if it wasn't the original capital. I am actually in a golden age here, and Korea, I think, is either in a normal or dark age, and it was still enough to flip that city, and Korea actually has more influence because I don't have enough population in those nearby cities. Now, due to the strategy that I deployed, I was able to recapture and hold the city and eventually get enough loyalty. So there's one thing that I didn't focus in on too much when we were discussing the strategy, and that is the timing of your hero. So if you're not generating a lot of faith where you could just repurchase your initial hero summon again in the next age, I would recommend if you have a strong melee hero, if you can hold off on summoning that hero until the classical era and then have it come out like basically right at the beginning of the classical era, that's going to give you a very, very strong push capability because that hero will be disproportionately powerful right at the beginning of that era if you can push them out. And if you haven't summoned a hero yet, you're going to be able to summon them in approximately 2 turns. Getting in here and taking it. So, 2 turns, shit. And you can always mouse over the free city to see how many turns it will take before it flips. So if you are not going to be the beneficiary of that flip over in loyalty, you'll want to make sure that you are able to capture that city prior to it flipping to another civ. So hopefully some of these tips should help you manage getting additional territory through this strategy and actually being able to hold it. So if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will wrap up the video here with the remainder of the real-time commentary after recapturing that Korean capital. Just under the wire. Nice. All right. Now, with my Golden Age pressure, this should start. I should actually be able to flip Korea's other 2 cities with that pressure, I believe.